All right, class, we're going to create a buggy. You're going to get an email to invite you to collaborate on this. This is the buggy you're going to create. The library's there for you. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to actually build half of it for you. Then share this with you, and then you're going to finish it out. So along the bottom, you can see the different files and the sketches that are created for this project. And so we're going to use 4 red bricks for the axle connection, and then the chassis is going to be made out of the blue bricks. All right, so there's that's drawing 1. That's your axle, and that's your wheel. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to that little plus sign in the bottom, and you're going to create an assembly. That dot is your origin in the middle, so that's everything's going to be centered around that dot. And let me fix something real quick. So you're going to insert just enough bricks to where you can work with it. You don't want to put so many bricks in there that it gets too crowded, because you can, as you make progress, you can bring in more bricks. But you're going to need at least 2 bricks to start out, and 3 or 4 blue bricks, and you can spread them out, zoom out, so you can kind of keep your bearings about how much workspace you got. And you're going to need an axle and the wheel. So you want to place these on the screen workspace away from the origin, which is that dot right there. And so we're going to, let's see if I can bring up the assembly. If you look underneath the buggy, you'll see a white dot over there on the side. That's the origin that they, if you saw that, they connect that brick to that origin, and so that so you're working on the same plane, the XYZ plane. All right, so we're going to take that 1 brick, and we're going to use our tools at the top, which mates all these together. And you see they put their origin on the inside. We're going to put it on the outside of that corner. Instead of the inside, we're going to put it on the outside corner. So this is kind of important that you get this right, because you could be thinking you're on the right plane when you're actually on the wrong plane. So you got to make sure that that arrow is pointing down, so that blue arrow or blue line. So you select the 2 blue lines, line them up, check mark. That's lined up, and so that brick is locked in place. All the other bricks can move around, and so you start locking these things in. And we're going to move some bricks out to make some space, and so now we're going to start snapping these blue bricks onto the side, because the red bricks are connected to the axles, and the blue bricks are your chassis. So we're going to pick the top dead center of that brick, and we're going to line that up with the outer edge of that blue brick. Make sure you point down. There you go, lined up. You think you got it, and then click your check mark, bring it out, and bingo, there it is. All right, snapped in. Now you're going to continue building this side of the buggy, and eventually we're going to put the axle on that the hole in the red brick. All right, so now we're going to whatever bricks you're going to work with, you want to try to drag them close together. All right, so we're going to get the dead center on that one and the dead center on that one. Click it, and that's using our fastened mating tool. And then we're going to go to more blue bricks, bring them in, drag them over, and we're going to snap that into the dead center on that one, and then flip it around, and then pick the dead center on that one, and then check mark. Got it. All right, so we're starting to starting to make some progress. It doesn't look like a buggy yet, but we're getting there. So we're going to close out the tool so you can drag stuff around, because if you leave the tool open, it does weird stuff. So we're going to pick, we want this to turn, so we're going to pick the revolve mating tool, and we're going to zoom in on the front, the top, and we're going to get that blue line, and we're going to make that go there to the where the axle goes, and make sure you got it lined up. And we're going to have this offset by about a 1/2 inch so we can attach the wheel onto the outside of the axle. So the axle is going to be fastened to the axle because we want the wheel to rotate at the with the axle. We want the axle to rotate, but we want the wheel to be fastened. So we're going to pick the fastened mating tool, and that's going to be basically glued onto the axle, but the axle does rotate. If you look at the wheel, you can actually drag the wheel by clicking, holding, and dragging, and it'll turn with the axle. The axle turns, but the wheel is fastened to the axle. So we're going to continue putting the blue bricks on there, and I think we have the original build shows 2 whole bricks in between each wheels, so we have to put at least one more blue brick on the top there. So this is about the time you need to draw in. So you got 2 full brick lengths between the wheels there. So we do need to bring in some more blue bricks, and you might as well bring in the axle and the wheel as well. We can go ahead and put the red brick is ready to put on that bottom, and we're going to fasten that. It's like the center and center, and then check mark. All right, now we're ready to bring in some more parts. So bring in an axle, bring in or insert axle, wheel, some more blue bricks, and let's see, yeah, an axle and a wheel. All right, so close that out. All right, so we're getting to the toughest part where we need to turn that corner. Let's put the bricks on there first, and all right, check mark, and we're making progress. So we're going to have to turn that corner, so we're going to have to actually take that blue brick and turn it 90 degrees. We're going to close that out so we don't do any weird stuff, and we're going to turn that to help us turn the corner. So you type in 90, it'll rotate that for 90 degrees, and then we're going to, this is where you have to really pay attention to the close details. We're going to shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, that recenters your object, and we're going to look at an isometric view to get a better idea of where we're going. All right, so we're going to click on the fasten tool, and we're going to get that center and make sure the blue line is facing the brick that we're going to attach. Hold on to the wheel, and that brings it down, or push down the wheel. Got the blue line facing the other one, and there we go. Click our check, and we've turned the corner. So the next thing we got to do is we got to put that axle in. Remember, it's going to be a 1/2 inch offset. And so we're going to pick the revolve mating tool, and so that allows the axle to rotate with the wheel affixed, fastened to it. So it's good to turn that off. That's an example of weird stuff happens if you don't close out the tool before you move something. All right, so we're going to do the revolve, and we're going to make sure we get the line and then the line. and then we're going to offset by 1/2 inch, 0.5 inches, and click your check mark, and there's your 1/2 inch offset. So then we're going to close out our tool and drag our wheel over. Now we're going to fasten the wheel to that axle so that it doesn't rotate on its own. It has to rotate according to the axle. So there we go. It's starting to look like a buggy, and now we're going to teach you a little shortcut, because the chamfer on the bricks where you have your edges angled makes it tough to do this corner without doing a little shortcut, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to attach the red brick first, and then we're going to work off the red brick as our reference point instead of other options. I think the best option is to attach that red brick onto the axle, and we're going to do that by, well, first we can put that on top. That one goes on top, of course. Drag that over, and remember, we're going to do the fasten, and we're going to pick the center and push down on the circle or the wheel and fasten. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put the red brick. So we're going to drag the red brick over, and we're going to do the revolve and 1/2 inch offset, and that'll give us a reference point to make the other side of the buggy, because the reference point we used for the other side was the origin, which is that white dot there at the corner. So we don't have the origin point on this side, so we're going to take our knowledge of the fact that this has a 1/2 inch offset on the revolve mating setting. So we're going to get the end of the axle, there it is, and we're going to get that lined up, and we're going to do our offset by 1/2 inch, and that is going to give us our alignment with the blue brick, which is above it. And there it is. There's another way to do that, but I'm going to leave that for the lesson right after this one. Alright, so now we're going to put that blue brick and attach it, and then I'm going to leave the rest up to you guys. But we're going to do the fastened, and we're going to select the center of that brick that's already attached, the center edge of that. So the fasten, and we're going to rotate and slide it over and make sure that that's pointing at the direction of the brick that's going to be attached. It is, and so now we're going to rotate and scroll up, and there's the line facing the brick that we're going to, the second line that's pointing toward each other. So there you go, we've turned both corners, and now your assignment as a group is to collaborate and finish this buggy. And if I set this up correctly, I will also be a collaborator on all of the projects. So finish it up and communicate with each other, and you know, teams are gonna speed this project along pretty quick. And once we get this done, we'll quickly progress into more complex assemblies. All right, we'll see you in the next video.